Yeah, alright, there we go. Well, welcome. Yay, recap time. The favorite part of any Dungeons and Dragons adventuring group. Where we last left off, you guys decided to go to a party catering to where you guys kind of made a plan on exactly what to do. You had objectives, which was to rescue / capture the young but ingenious wizard artificer, to also get a set of pearls, I do believe, which was it, and there was a recipe. That what it was. Which the people who were there was May-Ighe, Iris, Typhon, Leander, and Core. So we didn't have Adkara with us that day, so it'll be very interesting to see how he gets to you guys, since he was still in Tolis while you guys went through the portal, which is a very unique thing for us or for me as a DM, because I had to figure out how he gets to you, and the lovely way to do it is random portal that he walked into by accident. So, as you guys, each one by one walk through the portal, and the last ones to walk through the portal was Eugene and Core, because Core spent some time trying to convince Eugene to go with you guys, save the day, and all that fun stuff. But Eugene found Core to be a bit intimidating and beautiful, so she had to get him, and I quote, out of the closet, because he was hiding in there. But you guys went. So the first people I do believe who went through the portal was Iris and May-Ighe. I think was the first two, or was it Iris and Typhon?
I was not the first.
Oh yeah, so it was Iris then.
I think Typhon was first, and then I went after him.
Okay.
It was Tyson that went first. Maya went second. Iris went third, and then I was last because we were fighting over who was gonna go. And then you were like, "Well, I'll just go, Maya."
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just know I wasn't the first. That's all I
Yeah, you definitely weren't the first. I think you were the second because I know Iris was the one that went before me.
Okay, yeah. That's fair.
That makes sense.
So we'll get the first three of you guys who went through the portal. So it would be Typhon, Iris, and May-Ighe, I do believe. As you go through the portal, I like to think of it kind of pretty much like an instant thing. You walk through, and maybe like a couple of seconds of a blur of light that kind of makes you guys close your eyes, and then you're instantly in your second location. And as you guys go through the portal, you end up on a cliffside of a mountain. You see a forest, a large forest below, night sky. And as Iris, exits first, a large hand actually extends outward to catch you, so you don't just flop forward to your doom. And that large hand is actually Adkara's. Which Adkara would just, out of nowhere, just appeared on this cliffside. Don't even know how. Don't even know why. He was just walking around, going and opening up the door, and next thing he knew it, he was here. We can't hear you, Adkara. But we do like the nice lighting you have going on.
It's beautiful.
Makes you a little holy. Adkara, the paladin barbarian. He will rage his face. Oh my god. He will rage his belief on you. The words of many.
Okay.
As Adkara holds Iris and just kind of, keeps her to the side, you guys can hear coming through the portal like little steps. And out comes May-Ighe. So does Iris or Adkara stop May-Ighe? Or do you just let him fall to his doom?
No, stop him.
So as May-Ighe just kind of keeps going because of the force of the portal, Iris kind of grabs you and reels you back in.
Through the force of Iris grabbing me, I trip and fall because I was not expecting it.
He still holds on because he probably fell very close to the edge and was like, you fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So as you look up, you kind of see that face of you fucking idiot from Iris just looking down on you.
I just sort of look back. And I go, pull me.
I'll just hold you there for like a hot second, like an hour here.
I pull on your arm and I start to pull myself.
Well, that's one way to get a guy on you.
Not necessarily the most enticing way, but sure, whatever.
And I love how as this is going on, Adkara is just like watching this happen.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Fuck that computer.
Adkara?
Hello.
What are you? And then I'm so confused.
It's the magic of portals and such. Ta-da!
You went through a portal too?
Yes. Didn't you?
Yeah, but you didn't come out of the one we just came out of.
There are more than one, I think.
But how many come to this very specific spot?
I'm not a rocket scientist, but I can tell you that there are more than one.
Can you get off my arm, please?
I let go of your arm and I gently pat it.
Oh, yes, but
And then I go and wrap my arms and leg around Adkara's leg.
well,
This is about like a 5-foot cliff, so yeah, you guys are very close to each other.
hold on tight. We will make it. This is a mountaintop.
A mountain cliff side, yeah. So basically, you guys on a cliff. There's straight forward where you guys can go. You can go back, but you don't know where straight will lead you, nor where back will lead you.
Is it cold?
It's nighttime. It's a little chilly. Not by much though.
This is like my homeland.
These mountains and areas have none of your characters have been before. So this is a new location for you guys.
I don't like this.
As May-Ighe says that the portal behind you guys actually closes.
Well, it is too late now.
What happened to Corin? The kid?
mentioned Leander. He was one of the people that walked in first.
Well, Leander's gonna pop up later.
He might hear.
Okay. So where now?
Where now, brown cow?
Well, it's nighttime, so we should probably find a place to set up camp. Maybe our friends will show up later, hopefully.
Hey, big man.
It's,
You like mountains, right?
this is my homeland, only not this cold.
Can you find a decent place to be away from the edge of the cliff that will certainly send us to our doom?
We should probably move forward and possibly get away from this.
Okay, great. You first.
Why don't I just pick you up and put you on my shoulders?
I scurry up and I scurry up using my acrobatic ability, and I just sort of sit on his shoulders. Absolutely terrifying.
Hear it now.
Adkar, to let you know that the group is wearing different clothing. They don't have any of their armor, no weapons on them.
Oh. I'm assuming I still have my normal stuff? Or what?
Yeah, you're good. Just they're not.
Okay. Why do you not have any of your stuff?
We were working a job. Because we thought you were sick. Yeah, and so we were working that one job.
The catering job?
Yeah, that.
And you lose all your stuff because of this?
I swear. I looked down. Do I have any of my stuff that I had with me when I went through the portal?
Yeah, you have still that stuff, but you wouldn't have like your armor or anything like that.
If all of that was in the bag of holding.
Correct.
Okay. Who had the bag of holding?
Wait, that was me.
Yeah, so you have our stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
I had that.
may I have my stuff?
Let's maybe get off the edge of the cliff before we
Yeah.
work through things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, things fall to death, and we don't get them back.
Yeah, so,
I won't die.
Adkara, that means you have to walk because I am on your shoulders.
Let's move forward now.
Alright.
Alright, so
Keep an eye out while you're up there now, so you can see if things coming forward.
Yeah, sure, I'll get right on it. I'm just gonna stare away from the edge of death. Yeah.
You probably should have advantage on perception because you're up so high.
Oh yeah, I see so good. I see so good. I'm fucking terrified.
I really want you to make a whiz check to see if you pee yourself, but we'll leave that for a different time.
He will definitely get thrown off cliff.
That's why I was like,
I hate heights.
this campaign or this session today will be fetching May-Ighe from the forest down below. That will be what this session turns into. So you'll be walking for quite a bit, roughly about 2 hours.
I guess I am.
As you guys are slowly walking on this cliff with no support, one wrong step can lead to your doom. The wind is blowing a little bit heavier now as you guys pass every 45 minutes. It just gets a little heavier and windy, harder to hear each other. You eventually make it to a clearing of the mountainside. Not much bigger than what you guys are at. It's just from where the mountain kind of curves, it makes a little indent in it. about 30 feet. So you guys have about 30 feet, and the walkway then continues around. So you guys are able to kind of, if you want to set up camp here, you can.
This would be a good idea.
Yeah.
We need Scarlet here to create bonfire.
Is Scarlet here?
No.
Okay.
Scarlet is at work.
Oh, okay. So I will gingerly get down, very slowly.
Just pick you up and take you down.
No, I got it. I'm a strong, independent halfling. Who's terrified.
No, you are not. Stop lying to yourself.
Oh, I'm glad that you have reception. Thank you.
Only for about another 2 hours, and then my battery dies.
Great.
See, that was a joke and sarcasm. Ha ha ha.
I fucking hate this. This is the worst day of my life. Oh, and I'm still wearing a child shirt.
Oh, you're so cute.
I take off my shirt, and I just sort of rip it up, and I throw it on the ground. I'm gonna find wood.
You wanna know what? Travis, roll me a percentile. We're gonna see if this shirt is cursed.
No need to tear up Thomason's frame.
14.
You know what? Alright. So you guys see Travis, just, oh, may I just tear up this shirt? You hear a little weeping from, like, the distance, just, like, crying that this shirt just got ripped up, and then it fades.
Do I hear this?
Yes.
I stomp on the shirt, and then I just fucking storm off.
Okay, so Travis, may I stomps off into a corner, I guess, of this little patch.
I go about 20 feet, then I come back and go, can I have my stuff?
She holds it just out of his reach, like up in the air.
So as you put your hand in the bag, usually you would feel emptiness and everything, but you actually feel the bottom of the bag.
Can I have my stuff?
Wait, what do you mean the bottom of the bag?
You feel the bottom bag. It feels like a normal bag.
Oh dear.
What? What's the problem?
Iris is gonna turn the bag inside out over the trail, like the indent part of the trail.
As you do that, all the stuff that was in the bag falls out. So whatever, maybe some snacks that you got from the party, any of the items that you guys collected during the party falls out. But none of the gear you guys have.
But we put the gear in there.
Oh, I know.
Oh, looks like we have snacks. That's wonderful.
Where's our stuff?
I don't know.
Okay, everything's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We have food. Great. Fantastic. This is the best fucking day ever. I pull out where I put the pearls. Do I still have the pearls?
Yes, you still have the pearls.
Okay, I put them back. Part of me wonders if the portal may have stolen our stuff. Or dismagicked your backpack. I pull up disproven. It's just the backpack.
This could be problem.
This could be big problem.
A little bit, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. I guess I'll go and find some wood to start a fire.
As you say that, you guys, behind you guys, you hear a crackling of arcane magic, and a portal opens right behind you guys, shining bright light into you guys' faces. And then slowly the crackling dies, and one right after the other, Leander shows up, Cor shows up, Eugene shows up, but no Typhon.
Typhon was the first to go through.
He was.
Oh no.
He's a very unlucky guy.
We're just making things up right now. It's okay. Let's go with it.
Not wrong.
So the rest of the party is all together.
Iris is gonna run over and be like, thank God. Not stuck with idiots. Purely looking at the eye.
Oh, fuck off. I'm just scared of heights.
Then why'd you climb on top of May-Ighe Travis?
Because he was sturdy and I could grab something.
Technically, a mountain is sturdy and you can grab onto it if you hold onto the wall.
Yes, but a cloud over the edge of death was the edge of death in which I would die. And I didn't want to do that.
It'll walk behind it.
Okay.
Logic.
This is the worst day of my life.
But it is only begun.
Well, technically now is ending because we are going to go to bed.
It's fine.
Are you guys okay?
Why are you yelling? We're all standing ready.
Because
Overcompensating yet again.
you motherfucker. I swear. Are you guys okay?
That was crazy. But we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. You fine?
Do either of you two have a backpack by any chance?
Doesn't look like I have that back.
You had what you went with the party with. The only ones who actually have gear on them would be Eugene and Adkara.
Which is funny because I don't even have armor.
So I'll leave the bad news up to Iris. You're welcome. I must be compensated for something, so please.
Always fun for something.
What's going on, guys?
So, good news is we still have all the items that we got from the job. Bad news. Remember all of our weapons and gear and shit that we put in this bag? They're not coming out.
Adkara hands May-Ighe my two-handed great axe. Here you go.
What do you mean they're not coming out?
She broke the bag.
I didn't break the
That's the only explanation I have. She broke the bag.
Why would I break the bag?
I don't know why, but you must have broke the bag.
In there. Oh shit.
I go over and grab the bag and reach in it.
You find lip gloss.
Disgusting.
Very important on the mountain pass.
I mean,
Cool,
kind
kind of cool stuff out, but all she's getting is nothing.
Yep, nothing's coming out.
Nothing's
Leander's eye is still bloodshot red.
Is that blood in my eye too?
Yeah, I think you do.
I think she's freaking out here.
She's not the only one because I broke the bag.
I didn't break the bag. Something happened to the bag, but I didn't break it.
Clearly, I don't mean anything to kill somebody, so you guys have to figure that out yourselves.
They're in trouble.
Yeah.
Eugene,
Yes?
when we went through the portal, does it do anything to our magical backpacks?
Possibly.
Like what?
Well, that was an experimental portal we went through. I didn't actually get to test it. But it can also mean that whatever magical bag you had only worked in a certain location range. And when you went out of that range, it just dispelled itself.
Oh, there you go.
Why did you remind me? What happened to our stuff?
It's either, if it was a bag of holding, it's either in a dimensional pocket that you have to find a way to get back to, or whenever you return to the location that it can still function in, it should return back to normal.
We're gonna die out here.
I wouldn't say that.
We are.
I would say like you will die. Not
Right here. We are all going to die. Oh my God, we're gonna die.
not with us.
Do I still have my alcohol?
If it was on your person or something you got from the party, yes. If it was something revolved around your gear that you had to put into the bag, then no.
Okay.
We were on the mountain. It doesn't look like we were able to do anything about this right now. Maybe they reappear in the morning.
Yep, that's clearly what Panic Attack looks like, yes. He is.
But it looks like when Cho came out, and this was a little bit matches.
Give him the bag, let him breathe through it.
Oh, okay. I'll hand the bag over to you.
Now may I say, I am your father.
I was like, don't breathe too hard. My rapier might go into your throat.
Good. Just keep repeating that to yourself. It helps.
Or I just do like an Andre the Giant and Princess Bride and just like bonk him on the head and just knock him out.
Oh, you didn't need to because after that last one, he passed out.
Oh, well. Well, alrighty then.
He does not panic now, so. Okay.
And is everyone overall okay?
So,
Overall.
was this your guys' game plan to just end up here?
It's your portal.
Well, yeah. I know it's my portal, but what's this your plan on how to get me out?
Yup.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know you, so I don't think.
Oh! Hi. Oh, hi. My name's Eugene.
Hello, Eugene. I'm a
You're
I probably won't be able to say that, so it's okay. You just call me good guy.
okay. You're Goliath, right?
This is true.
Oh, your people's not from around here.
That is accurate.
Ah, that's very interesting. What brought you over to this area?
Portal.
Oh. Yeah, that would do it.
Somehow, magically, we all appeared together.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Sounds like all of our fates are intertwined.
It is.
we should probably get a fire going.
This is true.
This,
Who has make a fire?
oh, I can easily do that. I can accommodate for that. Eugene will pull out a small little square cube, click it, and then toss it, and then poof, a fire.
Excellent work.
Well, thank you. It only lasts for about 8 hours.
Well, that's okay.
Perfect. I don't know what else. I mean, I just followed Core through here, so I don't know what the game plan is.
So this is my kind of neck of the woods. Why don't I take a watch, and then you guys get to sleep?
Like,
Iris will take second watch if Adkara needs to sleep.
Adkara would need to sleep at some point.
Yeah, so Iris will take second watch.
We have a plan. Let's make it happen.
Thor will look over at Leander and notice his eye and ask him if he's okay.
I think I can get the blood out of my eye, but other than that, I'm still not sure if I'm okay after that place.
Sorry. What happened?
There was a lot of lions being skinned, and it wasn't good.
Is there anything I could do to help with your eye?
Probably have blood out of it.
Poke it.
Okay, yes.
That'll make it worse.
Oh, well then don't
Is
do
there
that.
anything I can help with his eye?
You could heal it.
Well, I'm asking her.
well, the eye itself is not damaged. You can try maybe if you create water to wash it off. But I think that's 10 gallons of water that you produce.
No, but I can create that up to 10 gallons.
Okay, up to 10 gallons.
I can't create more.
Very cool. No.
So then yeah, you can if people need to like wash up or anything, you can just I guess put your hand over the edge and have people just wash your face and hands. You can act like a shower.
Alright, so I'll hold May-Ighe, even though he's passed out, I'll just hold him over the edge. I won't pour water on him. And, while I'm just holding him, like, over the edge.
Don't forget to bring them out.
Yes.
Alright, so
Would that wake him up?
we'll see if Core goes with that. Core, are you just gonna be like acting like a little like fountain or like shower to just pour water slowly out of your hands and have people wash like their hands and their face?
I mean, if that's what they want. The soldier is entirely naked.
Okay, so Core will put her hand over the edge to if anyone wants to wash their hands or wash their face, they can. Adkara will grab first May-Ighe and just kind of put him underneath Core's hand as slowly water just comes out at a nice steady pace like a gardening hose, which would wake May-Ighe up. And as May-Ighe, you wake up, you realize you are being manhandled over the edge while you're getting soaking wet. And we can't hear you at all. But we appreciate the little floundering around.
And I'm just kicking in the air because there's no purchase. There's nothing.
Are there any trees nearby?
There are not, no.
Is there any grass, or is it just barren?
It's a bare mountainside. I do have a flask.
And I borrow one.
Yeah. There you go.
And then she'll create water in the flask.
Hey,
We'll have our water skins too.
sorry. It's a water skin. Yeah. So 2 water skins.
We'll have our water skins.
Okay, I'll fill up their water skins and then I'll also put some in the flask and tell Leander to come over so I can try to wash out his eye.
And Leander will go beside Cora and just sit on the floor.
All right.
Let her wash out his poor bloody eye.
Adkara, do you bring May-Ighe back to the center?
After laughing at him for a minute, yes.
Okay. So now May-Ighe is soaking wet now and it's cold. But there's a fire so you can get warmed up.
Make sure you were okay. It was fine.
I just go to the fire.
Eugene will sit next to the fire as well as Core washes as much blood off from Leander's eye as possible. I'm assuming Adkara and Iris will join the fire as well. And you guys kind of just talk a little bit. Snack on what food you guys need to. But you can get majority of the blood core out of Leander's eye, but not all of it. Some of it is just either his blood vessel popped in his eye, so he was just raging so much. But not a medical check. Maybe a good night's rest might do him some good. So his body and his spirit can rest and be calm. That might be able to help.
After Cora's done sitting on his eye, he just kind of shuffles a little bit away from her and just lays down and stares at the stars until he falls asleep.
Okay. The other remaining party members, do you want to talk or shall we do the watches?
I'll just tell Adkara, just hey, wake me up when you're ready to switch.
Sounds good.
All right. So everyone will kind of just sleep the best they can. May-Ighe will try to get as close to the fire as possible so he can, obviously dry and warm up. Eugene will pull out his bedroll and offer it to whoever wants it. He'll just use his cape as a blanket. And then we'll go to the watches. The watches, both first and second, go uneventful. Nothing really happens during this time. As you guys wake up and start eating breakfast, fully rested and everything, so you get your spells back, you heal your HP. While you guys are eating breakfast, what do you guys do?
Oh, just a little bit. Why are we here?
We're collecting a recipe, pearls, and this kid here.
Hi.
For our before.
Okay.
Now we need to try to get back there.
We have no idea where we are currently, so that's the fun part.
Okay. Now that all makes sense.
Yeah.
So am I you guys' prisoner?
No,
No.
very willingly.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to make sure.
So, Eugene, tell us about yourself.
I'm a wizard. I like stuff, inventions. Yeah. Haven't left the city since I was born.
Welcome to the mountain.
It's exactly as I read about it.
Why have you never left the city?
They had no reason to. That and when you hop from one assignment to the other because of your guild, you don't really get a say in a matter.
Get that?
But what made you all want to come to a party?
I like to get down and boogie every now and again.
But as caterers, you could have just got an invite.
Oh, no.
Possibly Travis.
I don't even know how you guys got the catering job. That list is extremely hard to come by because Quella DeVille is a very particular person when it comes to her invitations and her catering staff.
You know a guy.
Apparently, he must be a well-informed guy if he knew about the event.
You could say that.
Yeah, well,
We don't really know his whole shtick ourselves.
yeah, I did read that most adventurers would just take a job for experience, and then it usually works out in the end.
We've already done one job for him, and that's how it worked out. So you know.
Hey.
We are looking for gold and such. Do you have gold?
Oh, yeah. I have gold. Do you want some?
If you're giving gold away, yes, I will take all of it.
Okay. Here you go.
She's like willing to give you gold.
Oh, I don't need gold. Gold doesn't have any particular value to me.
Well, sure, how much gold did I just get?
I only have 10 gold, so...
You take 10 gold?
You know, gold is a good conductor for electricity in your inventions.
It can be, but when you find an alternative source that's infinite, it's much better.
That's fair.
Plus, when I was working for DeVille, she provided all the gold and equipment I needed. She just gave me 10 gold to always have on me. Actually, in case this happened, she's like, in case you get kidnapped, here's 10 gold.
Lucky for you, you were ready to go.
So did you know at some point you were going to get kidnapped and thus built in a safety? Maybe?
I
Just
think
in case you did get kidnapped?
that's probably what the portal was for. She wanted me to build a portal, but she didn't really tell me why, so I just got the blueprints from her, made some adjustments myself, and put in her crystal. So,
I got an insight check.
okay.
Ooh, I got 3.
You fully believe him.
I totally will. He seems legit. Yes. I was real shitty in sections, so why that is. I'll believe anyone, anytime.
Because you are thick as rock.
Hey.
Hey, this is what she said.
God. Okay. Iris is just very concerned at the moment because what if there's a tracking spell somehow or some kind of magic on that portal or the crystal he used since it did come directly from DeVille?
That could be a possibility. If that's the case, then we would have arcane residue on us that one of her hounds can track. Until you either A, take her in an arcane bath, or B, have their arcane residue dispel. You won't really get rid of it.
How would we be able to tell if we have arcane residue on ourselves?
Anyone that has detect magic, depending on the residue, it usually has this distinct color to it. Usually it's like a bright color. It could be bright red, bright green, but usually the brightness of it allows the tracker to see it clearly even in darkness.
Cool. Then I'm gonna cast detect magic.
Yeah, everyone has it. Except for Adkara.
Scheisse. Okay. Okay, guys. So yeah, we are being tracked. Fun fact. When you say an arcane bath, Eugene, what does that entail?
I guess the easiest way to put it would be a bath in holy water that gives you a lot of bites.
That gives you a lot of what?
Well, so think of it like a lot of leeches just on your body while you're taking this bath to eat or suck off the residue of the magic.
Also, like those little fishies when you get a pedicure.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh,
It helps with a lot of sneaking as well. Most rogues or assassins that you can hire will take an arcane bath before so they can't be tracked.
okay. So we should probably find. Is like this holy water something that has to be procured, or is it naturally occurring that we could eventually find somewhere?
All I would need is just a large pool of water
Got you.
in a actual ditch or ravine.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, if we can, just because you don't want the arcane water afterwards to go into the wildlife, and then weird stuff happens after that.
Well, I can destroy the water.
Oh, perfect.
Well, usually mountains have plenty of water.
This is true.
And true. It's just an arcane bath that we'll have to take. You don't want to drink it, especially if you're a caster. It doesn't end well.
What do you mean?
If you fully drink the arcane water, it can mess with your arcane power. So you may not be able to cast for a while.
So as long as we don't drink it, we'll be okay.
Yeah. Now, if some get in your mouth, you'll be fine. It's just as long as you don't fully purposely take gulps and gulps of it.
Okay.
Oh, and it takes me about 6 hours to create. The reason a lot of people don't do it is because it takes so long.
Should we try to move somewhere else and try to do this?
I would say we should keep moving along the path for a little bit. Try and get as far away from our originating point as possible. To try and buy us some time. And maybe find someplace semi-secluded and semi-safe.
Is this woman actively planning to kill us, or what?
She might be once she found out that her pet is gone.
These are some of the things that we were supposed to take in the job? get the cracking on this whole 6-hour thing.
Agreed.
Get up, get your shit together, let's move out.
All right, let's go. So as you guys get yourself ready, pack up and everything, the fire just goes away and forms back into that little cube. Eugene will go and pick it up and put it back in his little pouch. And then you guys will get traveling. You can snack on the road. You can eat and all that. So you guys will travel for about another 2 hours. And you'll come into a clearing that will actually go into an actual landscape on the side of the hill. So you get to about like a hill ledge, a hill mountainside. There we go. Those are the words. And you can hear noises up above, and you can also hear noises down below. Noises up above sound faint. Most of them will be 10-4. Most of it will just be kind of screaming and yelling, while the sounds below will be sounding more of a camp. You guys can see smoke down below. Probably coming from some like fireplaces from a campsite down below. But up top you have some boulders and rocks in a way that you can easily just climb around and climb further up the mountain if you want to investigate that. But it looks like up or down is your only two options.
So up is arguing, down is camp. But we don't know how friendly either of them will be.
Right. The water's gonna flow to the lowest point.
True. So do we go down, potentially fight for resources? Or
I like this one.
Oh, I figured you would.
Where do you put it? Yeah, that. Up there? Up where it's on the
Was
ground.
like drinking and arguing. So for all we know, up has multiple people. Down, we don't know, but potentially could only have one person.
You guys could also hide around here to see who comes and goes, if you want to take the time and do that.
Let's do that. Yes.
That's okay.
Let's hide.
Stealth check.
So the rest, so we can just have one of you guys do it because, as in the rest of you guys will kind of go back about, let's say about 60, like 5 minutes back. So you guys are clear out of view, and then one person can just stay around this area and like hide behind a rock, hide behind maybe like some fungus and stuff like that, and just kind of like camp and see, and then they can easily report back.
Who has the highest stealth?
I bet May-Ighe does.
Leander has the +6.
Oof. Looks like it will be Leander, because I only have +3.
My stealth is a +8.
Okay, then never mind, May-Ighe.
May-Ighe doesn't want to do it.
May-Ighe's going to do it.
He's not doing it.
May-Ighe's going to do it.
He's not going to do it.
Why not? He sat on by Goliath and he does not do it.
He walks 60 feet away.
Okay. So May-Ighe does not do it. He walks away.
Okay, Leander.
Yeah, we know do it.
Okay.
So everyone will go back the like 5 minutes back the trail. Leander, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Oh, 24.
24. Well, let's see what they can. All right. Okay. So I'll get to Leander in a little bit. Everyone who walked back the 5 minutes or however long you guys want to walk back, you guys will have a moment to chat if you want to. If not, we'll go straight to Leander.
What's wrong with you, May-Ighe?
Yeah, I'm not really in a talking mood right now.
Why not?
Still shitting his pants over being held over the edge of the mountain.
I'm not in a mood to talk right now.
Oh, don't be such a baby.
Okay, we'll go to Leander. Leander, how long do you want to wait?
Wait an hour.
An hour?
Yeah. Sometimes these things take time.
Yeah.
True story.
Okay. As you're waiting there an hour, kind of being stealthy and all that, you see, 3 cloaked figures coming up the mountain. They're climbing and moving as though they know the path. And then as they pass you, kind of get a better look at them, and you notice that they're the same cultists that you found underneath the tavern that one day. And they came from down below, so up top they're heading. There are about 3 of them.
Okay.
Do you want to ambush them, or do you want to still stay low?
I want to stay low. It's just me by myself.
You can take 3 of them. I believe in you. You have the high ground.
We do?
Push a rock on them. Show them your eye. It can be contagious. You can bluff your way out.
I can't.
Okay.
I'm Krista.
They go past you. They don't notice you. They do look around like to see if anyone's hiding or if a creature would be dumb enough to hide around here, but they don't see you at all. One comes close, but they just go, "Oh, it's just a rock. Never mind." And they just, what was that?
Do I need to say anything?
They are talking about how they just raided a village a couple miles away, and how they're gonna start slowly transporting prisoners that they captured from the camp up to their cave, and how they have a second point about a good half a mile down this mountainside, that the purple captain, lieutenant actually, is there with a couple men as backup. So they're just talking about how everything was successful, that no adventurers got in their way, and they were able to take this town, people, and belongings with ease, and they can't wait to move on to the next one.
Okay. After they leave, I start to head back to my group.
Alright, make me... Oh, I know you have not broke your stealth, though. You're still good. Alright. So during the hour, does the group want to do anything, or do you all just want to wait still?
Are there any trees around?
Not on the ledge, no.
Okay.
Okay. The hour goes by, and Leander shows back up.
Hey guys. So you remember when we were working at the Rusty Booth? And we went down below and saw the cloaked clan transporting people to the lair. So they have prisoners.
What?
Sorry, my dog just woke up from a dead ass sleep to watch Yeslie get bread.
Exciting bread. We get bread too.
But yeah, so I basically relay all the information I found out to the rest of the party.
Alright, so what do you guys want to do with that information?
I think we must go help these people.
Well, are the captured people the voices from above us?
They seem to be going up. I think they're both. From both ends.
But these cultists, they now.
Yeah, they take them down and they're going up.
DM question: How far is up from us?
About 125 feet.
And is it like a cottage, or is it like what is it that is up?
You can probably assume that there's a cave entrance up. If they have prisoners and everything, if you can make the assumption that there's going to be a little ledge or just a passageway that goes all the way to the very top and then plateaus to where you can see a cave entrance. If that's where they're taking prisoners.
And then going down is like a little like a camping area.
Most likely, you can safely assume that if you go down, you still hit some rocks and everything, but then a couple more miles we'll get to their camp, and then from their camp, several more miles will be the village.
Was it only the 3 at that camp?
All Leander saw was 3 people coming up. They didn't talk of how many was in their camp or anything. They were just talking about how successfully they raided the village and that they're transporting prisoners and all that lovely stuff.
And that there was more of them. They had backup.
Well, up is considerably closer to us. What do you think about going up first and then going down after? I am no strategist.
We can go up and check it out. And if it's nothing, just go down.
Oh, look who's talking now.
He's not making eye contact with anybody, just sort of staring at the ground.
But I do like the idea. What about everyone else?
I was thinking we go down first and kind of like peek
They
at
probably are.
what?
Down is several miles.
Right.
Up
But
the-
a lot of us don't have weapons or anything.
Oh, you're a chicken.
No, I'm thinking we go down.
We can probably find something.
We can probably find a weapon or 2 and then go up potentially.
Okay.
Or we could always just go and just check it out. Not necessarily going to fight, but just doing a little recon. And if we feel it's too much, then we head down. We send in 1 or 2 people. And if it looks way too dangerous, we just go down.
Yeah, well, we said we had to fight.
This is true.
Hope it out.
True story.
Green, are you okay with sticking with us?
I really don't got any other choice.
You don't know.
So, I'll just follow your lead, Core.
Alright.
So, what's the game plan?
We're gonna go up.
Alright.
So we're gonna try to meet up and see what's picking up.
My recommendation is that Leander and I take the lead in scouting, as we are the most dexterous.
I agree.
I'll keep the closest, the furthest away from the entrance. If someone comes up, I can jump them or something.
All right, so we'll have the two people leading. So how far away does May-Ighe and Leander go from the group? Since you guys are scouting first, how far do you guys want to be away from them?
My thought is at least 180 feet.
Okay, so by the time they so you guys probably be at the base. Oh, they will be at the midpoint while you guys will get to the very top and no problem.
That's just what I think. Leander, do you have something to say to that?
No, I agree.
I suggest we put our eye rings on. Make sure everyone's is on so we can all hear each other.
Yeah, my ring said it would be dead, so I don't know if it's working.
It was joking.
If you guys are ready, go ahead and roll me that stealth check.
Natural 20 for 28.
16.
All right. Poop. Okay, so as you guys get up successfully well. As you guys get to the very top, it does curve to a straight path, but there's spots where you can easily just peek up from to kind of see. You do see a cave entrance about 30 feet from the edge. You'll see the entrance of the cave is broad and tall, but the ceiling is quickly lowered to a height of 15 feet. There are two guards standing there. It does look like cultists as well. They position themselves about 30 feet inside the cave. They're about a good distance apart, let's say about 15 feet. They're standing each one next to a column. So the closest one will be that's 30 feet in. From that one, there is one about 15 feet from him. Go ahead and set that out.
I get on the eye ring and I ask Leander to relay the information because I feel I have pretty good cover and I don't want to compromise it.
Alright. So I'll relay the information to everybody on the eye ring.
So you guys are about 125 feet up. As you relayed that information, you can tell it didn't go through. So you can assume that you are just out of range, since this is the first time you guys are using Irene outside of Tolis.
Okay.
So you can talk to Leander just fine with Irene.
Okay. I wait because I'm not sure if they actually heard it or not. So I ask
Yes.
What's the range to other compatible devices?
Currently, since we are outside of Tolus, our range is about 100 feet. If you would like to increase the range, you can simply just deposit some arcane magic into us.
Oh yes, I have magical ribbons.
Leander, I don't think they heard us. Are you able to get about 25 feet closer to them and try again?
Yeah, I can go down further to get closer to them.
I think the I-Ring believes that you need to be within 100 feet, so let's see if that works.
I'll make down. So Leander will turn and walk a little closer to where our group is. See
Okay.
if he gets something else.
So you just descend about 25 feet, and you relay the message where everyone can hear you guys, except for Eugene, because he doesn't have an Irene.
Great.
Hey, Leander, why don't you hang out there, and we'll play the telephone game, and I'll relay to you if I see some more stuff.
Understood.
I'm gonna try and get closer.
Alright. Alright, so you come and get closer. Let's see if they can spot you. A whopping 2.
That does not beat my 28 stealth.
So can I combine my 2 and my 10?
No. I mean, you're the dungeon master.
But no.
Oh, thanks, Leander. Okay. As you get closer, as you're getting closer, kind of, hugging the walls and being as stealthy as possible, there's spots where you can hide, small rocks, enough to just kind of, whenever they're not looking, kind of go a little closer, not making any sounds. As you get relatively close to the entrance of the cave, you can see one figure stands out more to you. It's a little bit dressed up in finer armor on the cultist. It looks like an actual soldier instead of a cultist. And the cultists start talking and referring to this person as Dragon Claw.
Okay. Does Dragonclaw have any, or am I able to listen in to any conversations that they're having?
They are speaking in Draconic.
I don't think I speak that. No, don't. I don't understand it.
Irene 7 go, I can be of assistance if you'd like me to function some of my utilities into translating.
That would be, I didn't know that was an option. That would be great.
I would just have to shut down some of the other key functions I can do for now. So your range of speaking will go from 100 to 45 feet.
And then can I change the setting back later?
You can, yes.
I'm just gonna quietly send Leander a message going, you're not gonna hear me from a little bit. I'm trying to decipher language.
Understood.
And then I do it.
Irene will also just say some of the more broader information she knows will shut down as well. But she'll then start to translate or config. So you missed the beginning part of what they're saying because it takes a couple of minutes to do. But you get towards the middle / end part of what they're saying.
Okay.
And that is that how of a successful raid they had on the town of Green Nest.
Can you spell that for me?
GreenEst.
Okay.
And how that they don't like that they had to hire mercenaries to do some of the raiding as well. But they were able to locate what they think is one of the masks. And how it's being kept further inside the cave.
Is that at the greenhouse, did you say?
Correct.
Okay. Did it talk about what colored mask?
White.
That's the one we were looking for.
You wanted her there. I need to get up.
Okay.
They also talked about how they didn't like that they had to request assistance from. I'm just gonna spell out the name. So it is LANGDED ROSA and then CYAN WRATH.
It's like the Broadway.
Is it Langdon Rosa Cyanrath?
That sounds about right, yeah.
And so they don't like that they had to hire.
They don't like that they had to ask for his assistance. But that he did. That they're talking about how they didn't like that he had to. They had to hire his assistance, but then he suddenly vanished, not being found.
Do I recognize the name at all?
Unfortunately, no. It hasn't been a name that any of you guys have recognized. Because if it involves a cult, then no.
Okay, that's fine.
But if it's a dragon cult, would I recognize it?
Roll me a history. Oh, that's right. I forgot you're. Yeah. So, Iris.
Did you forget who I am?
I did for a second.
He was just like, yeah, you're Sarah. What do you...
10.
The name sounds from. Well, once. So DC will be a lot higher since your character did not hear this information. So as of right now, no. But once the information is relayed to you, you can do it again.
Okay, are there any other interesting, symbols that are adorned besides the symbol of Tiamat?
They have the symbol of the white part of the head of the dragon.
Ooh, that's important.
So it's kind of like the ones that you guys found in the cave, but these ones are a little bit different. The ones you guys found in the cave was kind of more of like a passive looking art of the white dragon. This one looks more of an aggressive.
Okay. Okay, do I see a clear way using my stealth to get into the cave?
You do. There's a couple clear ways. The guards will move around the entrance a bit. If you stay long enough to study the pattern, you can find a clear way.
I'm gonna move away for a little bit so that they don't hear me trying to communicate with the Irene.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna ask the Irene to go back to the old setting.
Okay. It would take about 10 minutes to do.
Okay.
Because the translation was a lot more than she assumed. But during this time, what does the other members of the group do?
I don't know what's going on inside, so I'm still standing by outside, making sure no one's coming into the cave.
I'm getting very antsy.
Of course, probably messing with Yeslie.
In what way?
Like looking at him and like trying to figure him out and like asking him a bunch of questions about his book that he keeps looking into.
Whenever you like stare at him, he gets like flustered and just like don't know what to do or say. Because like you'll catch him looking at you, and Adkara, just kind of like because what he said earlier on how Adkara's race is not normally from here, so it's very odd to see his race here. But he'll look at Adkara for like maybe like a couple minutes, but he'll look at you for longer. Again, he's very interested on both your guys' races, but more interested on you, Core. He'll obviously anytime he talks to you, he'll be nervous, and flustered as well. Kind of like he won't let you see what's in the notebook. If you try to bring it up, he'll kind of just like put it in his pocket. And that's the case. Leander relays the message so you guys know what's up top. And about, let's say, about 25-30 minutes after the relay of that message goes, you guys get a little notification from May-Ighe.
So I relayed to Leander, hey, so I was able to use the Irene to translate the conversation.
Oh, that's good.
Which you can do, but it shortens the radius of the message capabilities to about 45 feet.
Okay.
So I'm back to normal. Here's what I know. They had a successful raid in Greenest very recently, in which they were not very happy that they had to hire mercenaries. Most specifically, they had to ask for Leander Elliett, but apparently that dude like suddenly vanished. But they definitely had to ask for his aid. And they have one of the masks.
We do they?
The white one. And that mask is further in this cave.
So we have to go in.
Yeah. And something worth noting, like you know how we saw those symbols in when we first went underneath in like the Rusty Boots like little thing?
Yeah.
So the symbols that they're wearing are similar, but this one was heavily focused on the white, and it was much more aggressive. It looked much more aggressive than like the passive style that we saw underground. That's the information. That's the information I came up with. So I will. Oh, and also, there was one guy there's one guy here who's not like the others. He seems to be wearing much better armor, much finer armor, and they refer to him as Dragon Claw.
Okay, so I will. Is that everything?
And I also tell you that there is going to be some sort of pattern, and while you relay that information to them, I'm going to try and get that. But so the guards are about 30 feet inside the cave, standing next to two columns that are 15 apart from each other. And that's as much information as got. And there's two guards inside, but you already knew that. That's everything.
Okay. So as soon as Leon finishes getting the recap from May-Ighe, he goes and relays it to everybody else on the island.
Cool. At this point, who might know any of this, especially who this Lederhusen guy is?
Lederhusen?
I don't know. Okay, I can't pronounce that name. Where the Dragon Claw is. Anything dragon related, do I know what the artwork is?
So yes, you can go ahead, roll me a history check and determine on what you get will be determining the information I give you.
Like, do I have to roll 3 separate ones? Because that's technically 3 different questions, or...
One altogether. So like if you get like a 17, I'll let you know if I can answer 2 of your questions. Because remember, Typhon kept most of the information to himself and gave you on a need-to-know basis. But you can still roll because this could be conversation that you and Typhon had together. So he was like, "Hey, these are some of the people you need to know in case I get captured. If I get captured by this person, don't come for me. Just let me die. Like it's not worth us both." Yeah.
Right. Well, it's not great.
Unless he if Typhon kept his lips shut, or he told you a lot more than he needed to. I will answer 2 questions revolving around the information that you just received. That could be about the town. It could be about the names you heard. It could be whatever you think would be relevant. I'll give you 2 answers. So Irene will give you 2 answers.
Cool. I'm trying to think what's going to be the most relevant. I'll ask everyone around me what they think is most relevant. I'll be like, "Hey guys, I have 2 questions that I can ask about, the information we were given." Is that, can I do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Like, what do you all think is going to be the most relevant or like the most helpful thing we can ask to find answers to? Because we have 2 different players.
Yeah, the Dragon Claw guy seems like he's like kind of a big badass dude, right? Does that seem...
Yeah. Because we have 2 people, but we also have, like, the more white dragon artwork, which I'm assuming I would also kind of know a little bit about as well. Me as a player, I know what the white dragon is, which is weird because he's not necessarily evil.
You can also, again, this is one of the things to where Irene works as kind of like a memory bank for you guys, to kind of like tap into that, like, that my fellow person told me this, I just forgot about it. So that's where Irene can kind of come in and, jog your memory. You can also ask Irene, if you didn't want to, if you want to split up your answers to get more of a variety, you can ask about the attack if she knows anything about that. So Irene can also work as a function of knowledge, if you give her time, and also as a memory jogger.
Well, would a memory jogger count against how many questions I have?
It'll still be 2 for right now. We'll say that the names and locations that may I reveal to you would be the memory jogger. Of just you going, oh, that name sounds familiar. Oh, I think I was told by Typhon this. I read his report and it was this. Or before I left the guild, my best friend told me Greenest is a town, blah, 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 blah. And kind of like stuff like that to get around the whole little, we need to go investigate it.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know where we are.
Right. So, would we want to learn more about Greenest, and then potentially, if whatever information we don't get out of Greenest, maybe get about the names of the 2 people?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so first question is going to be like what happened, or
That's a good guess. I love it.
I haven't been created and I can't think straight.
The town is Greenest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that the town that's below us right now?
Correct.
Okay.
Wait, do we know that for certain?
I thought that's what you overheard.
I overheard that there was a successful raid in Greenest, not that the town down below was named Greenest.
So we're clearly not in the mountains, like up in north, because there's no snow and ice all over the place.
Right.
I'm assuming.
We're probably in a more kind of temperate location.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I would ask for sure about like Dragonclaw, and also I think maybe even because we're gonna go into the town anyway, probably.
Most likely.
So I would ask about the 2 people. Like, I don't know if that's an individual question for each one. And just heads up, I have like 7 minutes before I have to go pick up Suzu.
10. Peter, would it be 2 separate questions for the names?
Yes, it would.
Take that back, it's 2 minutes before. Oh, no, you just got off. Oh, wait, hold on.
We.
Okay. 9. Sorry, keep going. Yeah, sorry, I'm just.
You're good. So, questions we're asking, just to finalize. It's just the 2 names, or do we want to find out more about the town and then the name from there?
Oh, I think we should do the name of the town.
Name of the town. Which name? We're doing Dragonclaw or?
Yeah, it's Dragonball. That was important.
Yes.
Can you tell me anything about um, Greenest, including, what it's like, any battles, any kind of relevant information for us?
Absolutely. I can pull up my file on Greenest for you. Would you also like to know the history of Greenest as well?
Any relevant information, so yes.
Alright. So the town of Greenest was founded by the halfling Dharva.
What?
Dharva. Scattered Heart. It's a halfling name.
Okay.
And then her last name is Scattered Heart.
Mm-hmm.
She was a rogue who fancied herself the queen of the Greenfields. Scattered Heart passed away without even achieving the level of ambition, but her town grew into a thriving community. Its success isn't surprised since Greenest is the only town of any size along the coast that does practically have good trade. It does better than the other towns around her. It's also one of the biggest towns south of Tolis. The trade caravans that use a secret passage from the mountains, first stop will always be Greenest, and then from Greenest it will hit the three port towns below it.
That's all the information we have on Greenest. Just double checking.
Yeah, for right now, if I find any more, I can give you it.
Perfect. My second question is going to be, who is Dragonclaw? And any relevant information about him.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually forgot the name that I gave you guys of the white Dragonborn character. I can't find where I wrote it down.
How long ago was that?
That was session 2, I think.
Because I keep track of that.
Because it's a guy who knocked you guys all out. Well, the character who knocked the first group out.
Oh yeah, so I wouldn't
Oh, I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know that at all.
Oh yeah, you weren't there for that. If no one can find it, I'm just gonna random generate a new name for him. Because I couldn't find it anywhere as well. So I was like, I hope one of them wrote it down because I couldn't find it. So we'll generate him a new name because it's going to be relevant to what I tell you. Okay. We'll go ahead and have Iris roll me a d10.
Oh god, why?
Just for the name. It generates 10 names for me.
Oh, okay, cool. 3.
Oh my god. So the last name is... I was like, why would this even be a name? We'll go... Here, we'll go with a little bit easier name that I'm looking at. So it will be the white dragon's name will be Drakax, and then the last name will be Mithtes.
That's the white dragonborn, correct?
Yeah. I wrote it down this time, so I was like, I'm gonna make sure I have it this time.
Is that? I'm sorry, I was missing some of that because of the conversation I was having with Susie.
No, it's all good.
Is that the white dragon, or is that the dragon claw guy?
That is a white dragonborn who knocked you guys out. When you in like section 2, where you guys were underneath the rusty boot, and you guys found, those cultists and kobolds. The one who had the shark. Yeah, that motherfucker has a shark. Yeah, okay, so back to Dragonclaw.
Dragonborn and the white dragonborn, two different people.
Correct. But it's relevant because Dragonclaw is serving under that name. So you'll hear him say that. Irene will say that Dragonclaw is usually a term that the cultists use as a potential ranking officer, that they're usually given task among their generals, and if they successfully do the task, they slowly start to rank up to be a protege or a student of that general, and they get more perks. So it's like an apprenticeship. Dragonclaws do have relatively decent authority in the cults, but only to the designated Dragonborn that they assign to.
Okay, so since I'm the furthest one away from the entrance of the actual place, I'm gonna move forward and closer to the entrance of the cave.
Well, everyone is still at the beginning part, as the ledge. So everyone's in the same. No one's moved yet except for May-Ighe and Leander. They're the only ones who are stealthily moving back and forth, using diagram to communicate with you guys.
Okay.
So I'll relay all this information to everybody who's with me, as well as Leander, so Leander can forward it to May-Ighe.
10-4.
And Peter, while this was going on, I was trying to pick up the pattern. So when this is all done.
The pattern?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that pattern. I was like, wait, what pattern?
The guard pattern?
10-4.
The pattern of the lilies.
That's why I was like, crap, what pattern are you talking about?
Yes, tell me about the pattern of these lilies I see on the side. They look so pretty.
Well, you
So
see,
purposeful.
they actually indicate when actually they shine.
No, they don't at all.
Well, I was going to say, whenever you see a lily pattern like this shines, it means that it is a detection of ambush nearby. So you should probably duck.
Okay, I'll duck.
And then a duck poops on your head and flies away, then flips you the bird.
See, Jungle Cruise me is like, oh, I heard there's usually something called an ambush nearby. If you find it, point it out. And while the attacking natives are over here, I'm pointing at the bushes on the other side, no, that's not it. That's not it either. Oh, there it is. I think I see it. That's the ambush.
The bad puns Jungle Cruise do. Yeah.
I say as I drink out of a drunken head that I got from Trader Sam's.
Trader Sam's.
Because I fulfill stereotypes.
I mean, not wrong.
Ouch. But I accept it.
Yeah, so those are the kind of information you know about Dragonclaw in Greenest. It's one of the key towns in this area. And kind of know why. It's a direct trade route from Tolis. South of it, it does a tunnel passageway that traders usually get to while having to take the ferry around. So it's a little bit slightly safer, slightly dangerous, as in you don't have to deal with sea creatures or the weather. You can just go through the tunnel, pop out, and go travel a couple miles, and boom, Greenest is right there. So Travis, you get the pattern down. They kind of stick to it. Dragonclaw will just kind of stretch a little bit, get in the fresh air, and he'll retreat back inside.
Okay. I'm gonna stay in my position, but I'm gonna ask Leander to ask the group, what do we do from here?
And Leander relates that over to everyone.
Well, what map is there?
Say again?
Thank you. Drink some water, please.
Okay, I'm not drinking this one. No.
I feel like we have to go in.
Yeah, my question is, do we try and find any kind of weapons first? Because unless David or Adkara has like a dagger or two to spare.
I don't have any extra daggers. I only have 3 weapons. My two hand axes and my great axe. Are you two-handed weapon proficient?
You
Good question.
We can also go down into Greenest too. Also first.
you would have to get past that camp.
So either way, we're gonna need weaponry.
So you can try stealthing past a camp. If
Or
you
we can take out the first 2 guards and take their shit.
mm-hmm.
This is true.
That's what May-Ighe was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I do really want to make sure we get the
All I need is a stick so I can have my shillelagh.
this is true.
Eugene pulls out a stick.
Create some sort of distraction or something to have the 2 guards hopefully try to come out.
Did someone say distraction?
If Leander tells that to me, I will tell Leander to tell the group that I've studied the patterns of the guards and I can try and take them out one at a time.
And Leander repeats that to them.
So just to let you guys know, it has been 2 hours, about roughly. Do we want to continue for a little bit more and then take a break, or just take a break now and then come back in like 15 minutes?
What's good for you, David? Because I know you're on a time schedule.
I am currently not on a time schedule because she is actually working late, so she may not get off till 12.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh.
I would say let's try and solidify a plan before we go on a break.
okay. So
Yeah.
once you guys solidify a plan, we'll go on a 15.
Yeah.
I agree with that, yeah.
studied the patterns that the guards are taking. It's pretty frequent, and he thinks that he can get in and possibly deal with one, and then try and deal with the other.
Leander relates that over to them. They can see if they want him to do that.
Despite having been an outsider to the group, and initially, Iris is still kind of concerned about anyone taking someone on the. But if he really wants to do it,
If he feels confident with that,
right? If he feels confident about it, like go for it. But that doesn't make you any less nervous about it.
yeah, that could also hinder us because if you can't, you're not sure that you know that, or feel us.
Or you guys can come up here and help with the distraction. And
I mean, Iris will 100% help with a distraction.
but just know that it may draw out Dragonclaw, and he's much more heftier. That might be a job for Adkara.
I mean, the distraction I was thinking was I could use my cantrip dancing lights to kind of like guide them off in a different direction.
I think you communicating to Leander convinced me.
Right.
It's that weird telephone game.
Right.
Hopefully not as dirty.
Well, luckily we're not going through 20 people. We're just going through one middle person.
Correct.
Wait, how did you know Iris's Christmas list?
So I will respond. I will respond like, yeah, if you think that can do it, I don't think that's a problem. There is sort of a secret route that we can sort of take so that you guys are a little bit more well hidden for you guys to get up here. Leander and I took that route, and Leander could probably help guide you.
Okay. Well, that can work.
Do we all want to sneak in?
I would vote for that, to be honest.
We can always use my distraction as a backup plan.
True.
Because dancing lights, I can make it look like a humanoid kind of figure.
Right.
Could also be that we use the dancing lights, like you said, to draw them away.
Mm-hmm.
They go to investigate, and while they go investigate, we sneak into the cave.
Exactly.
Well, we do.
Yeah.
But we kind of need to take them out. And since there's only two of them, and there's a lot of others.
We could, yeah.
Worst comes to worst, vicious mockery the shit out of.
Right.
And I can try and get a vital organ.
This is true.
And Leander also has intimidation.
That was good.
Or you could draw them. What you could do is maybe you could probably draw them to us. Then the people that are hiding can come silence them or something. I'm just
like
bouncing back. Yeah, I'm trying to bounce off of your idea.
We do that in video games all the time.
We could do that. I can use dancing lights to lure them towards us while we're hiding, and then we can ambush them.
Mm-hmm. Take them by surprise.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
like that.
I like this plan. Leander, you've been the middle person. Do you like this plan?
Yes, I like this plan.
See if Core is okay with this plan, and Eugene doesn't have a button.
Cora, do you like this plan?
Yeah, fine with it.
She just really needs a tree branch or something. She wants her shillelagh, okay?
That's
Peter, do I see like a very
know how old it is.
do I see like a thick tree branch that could sort of function for what Core is looking for?
I mean, Eugene is holding a stick.
I will take it.
Cora, why didn't you ask Eugene?
He's been holding it for like 15 minutes.
We got lost in La La Land.
She was too busy doting on him. But yeah, I think we have a plan, yeah?
Yep.
Alright.
Alright, so we'll be back in about 8:25, latest 8:30.